Archangel Michael says, "My dear child, do not let go now, for the last 2 minutes of this video hold the key to something greater than you have imagined. Stay with me until the very end, for within those final words your blessing is waiting to be revealed." Minutes left. Jesus just spoke your name in heaven, and in that moment, all of heaven leaned in with awe, for when Jesus speaks your name, it is not simply a word, it is a declaration of belonging, of forgiveness, of unending love that reaches deeper than sorrow and higher than joy, pulling your soul toward the light with a tenderness that has no equal. When Jesus whispers your name before the Father, He is not reminding heaven of your faults or your past, He is lifting your spirit into the place where mercy overflows like a river and peace covers every storm with stillness. He is not asking for permission to love you, He is proclaiming what has always been true, that you are His, that you have always been seen, and that your name has never been forgotten, not even for a second, in the heart of the one who gave everything just to bring you home. Type 1010 to affirm that God's timing is perfect. The angels rejoiced the moment your name passed His lips, not because of anything you have done, but because of what He sees in you, something beautiful, something unbroken even when you have felt shattered, something sacred that the world may have overlooked, but heaven never has. He called your name not with urgency rooted in fear, but with a longing rooted in hope, a hope that you would open your heart just wide enough to feel it, a soft, steady pull from the inside out, drawing you back to the place where your soul remembers who you are and whose you are. It is not too late, and you have not gone too far. The time is not gone, though it is short, and the moments left are enough for grace to reach you and wrap around you like a warm blanket on a bitter night. Heaven is not far, even when your heart feels lost in shadows, because heaven lives inside every whispered prayer, every tear that fell when no one was watching, and every time you wanted to give up but didn't. When Jesus speaks your name, He is reminding the heavens that your story is not over, and that the pages still unwritten are filled with purpose, healing, and restoration that only He can bring. You may not hear His voice with your ears, but if you still your soul and lean into the quiet, you will feel it. It's there in the gentle kindness of a stranger, in the hush of the morning light, in the way your chest tightens when you realize you are not as alone as you once thought. That is Him. That is the voice of the one who carried the cross not just for all, but for you. Personally. Intimately. Lovingly. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the Money Magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. There is something sacred about knowing your name is not just written in a book but etched into the hands of Jesus, hands that bled and broke to make a way for you to return to joy, to light, and to love that never fails. Those hands still reach for you now, not with condemnation, but with calm, with gentleness, and with the unwavering strength of someone who would go through it all again, just to remind you that you matter, that you are chosen, and that you are never beyond the reach of grace. Type 666 if you trust in God's grace and mercy. There is no darkness stronger than His light, no guilt deeper than His mercy, and no pain so great that His presence cannot meet you there and hold you through it. The world may speak over you with labels and lies, but when Jesus speaks your name, every lie loses its power. Every fear loses its voice. And every shame is silenced by the sound of His love. He is calling you, not to religion, but to relationship. Not to duty, but to delight. Not to earn His love, but to receive it freely and fully, just as you are right now. You don't have to clean yourself up to be seen. You don't have to have the right words or the right past. You don't have to hide your weakness or pretend to be strong. He already knows, and He's already here. Open your heart now, not out of fear of time running out, but out of joy that time still remains. This is not about fear, it's about freedom. This is not a threat, it's a promise. A promise that the one who spoke your name will never stop loving you, never stop fighting for you, and never stop believing in the beauty of who you are becoming. Jesus just spoke your name in heaven, and heaven is waiting, not with judgment, but with joy, not with anger, but with arms wide open, ready to welcome you into something deeper, truer, and more alive than you've ever known. This is not the end. This is the beginning of something sacred, something eternal, something wrapped in the very heart of God. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, something shifted, not just in the skies above, but in the very atmosphere around your life, as if all of creation paused for a breath, just long enough for the sound of His voice to settle into the cracks of your soul that have long ached for healing. There is a stillness that follows that kind of moment, not the kind that feels like silence, but the kind that feels like peace gently unfolding, like sunlight creeping into a room that has long been cold. His voice did not call out to condemn you or remind you of your failings, but to invite you closer, into the warmth of a love that asks for nothing but your heart in return. This love does not keep records of wrongs, and it does not retreat when you fall. It waits patiently, tenderly, never forcing, always inviting, because that is the kind of Savior Jesus is. He is not far from your pain, nor distant from your doubts. He is as close as your next breath, walking beside you even when your eyes can't see, holding you when your strength is gone, and covering you with mercy when your past tries to steal your future. He spoke your name because you are not forgotten, even if the world made you feel invisible. He whispered it with the kind of affection that wraps around you and reminds you that, no matter how many times you've broken or been broken, you still belong, you are still wanted, and your story still matters. Every tear you've cried, every quiet prayer you've whispered into the night, every moment you've felt like giving up, none of it has gone unseen. Heaven remembers you not for your failures, but for the beauty hidden in your journey, for the courage it took to keep walking, for the faith that flickered but never died. When He said your name, He was affirming something unshakable, that you are His, and that He has never stopped loving you, not for a moment, not even when you couldn't love yourself. Type "I love God" to claim abundance through God's love. Sometimes, the world can make it hard to believe in this kind of love. It teaches us to earn our worth, to hide our scars, to smile through the ache. But Jesus, in all His gentleness, breaks through those lies with something far more powerful: grace. Grace that does not ask you to pretend, grace that sits with you in the mess, and grace that walks with you hand in hand until the light breaks through again. There is nothing too ruined for Him to restore. Nothing too tangled for Him to untangle. nothing too distant that his love cannot reach. The name he spoke, your name, has been carried on his heart since before time began, and today, he speaks it again with hope. Hope that you will let go of the shame that doesn't belong to you, hope that you will believe, even just a little, that you are still worth loving, worth saving, and worth celebrating. He does not need you to have perfect faith, just a heart willing to come close. Even if all you can bring is a quiet whisper of, "I'm tired," he meets you there. Even if all you can offer is a heart full of questions, he holds them gently, without rushing your healing or demanding more than you can give. His love is patient, and his arms are strong enough to carry you through what you never thought you'd survive. What if you discovered a tiny, walnut-sized brain region holds the secret to endless wealth and success? Recently uncovered by groundbreaking research and once buried in classified files, this frequency is now available to anyone ready to listen. Imagine replacing worry and struggle with a life of financial ease and freedom. Interested? Click the link in video description and comments below to unleash this hidden brain wave and start attracting wealth right now. You have been guided to this message for a reason, and if you turn away, the chance may not return. This is your time to step in. He is not waiting for you to be more. He is not holding back his love until you get it all right. He is here now, ready to pour into your life a hope that doesn't disappoint and a peace that does not depend on the storm calming first. His voice is not like the noise of the world. It does not shame, it does not rush, and it does not confuse. It speaks clearly, lovingly, and always with purpose. The voice that spoke your name in heaven is the same voice that calmed the sea, the same voice that brought Lazarus back to life, and the same voice that said, "It is finished," when love conquered death forever. That voice is still speaking, and even now, it is calling you closer, not to burden you, but to lift you up, to hold you steady, and to remind you that there is more to your life than what you've lost. When Jesus spoke your name, it was not just a moment, it was a promise. A promise that he will never give up on you. A promise that he is with you even now. A promise that the same love that moved heaven to sing your name is the love that walks with you every step of the way, until the day you see him face to face and finally understand just how deeply you've always been loved. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, it wasn't just to call you closer, but to remind all of heaven that your life carries divine purpose, even in the places that feel forgotten, even in the seasons that seem silent. His voice, gentle and filled with compassion, wrapped around your name like a song written just for you, echoing through the halls of eternity with tenderness that no sorrow could silence. Type 999 if you trust Jesus with all your heart. This calling is not loud or forceful. It does not shake the earth with thunder or lightning. Instead, it enters quietly, like the hush of dawn when the first light stretches across the sky and chases away the darkness, reminding your soul that hope is still here and love has never left. You may not hear it with your ears, but deep in your heart, you feel it, that pull towards something more, something holy, something full of peace and love and healing that you've longed for your whole life. There are moments, in the stillness of your soul, where you feel the weight of everything pressing in, the regrets, the unanswered prayers, the aching loneliness that settles in like a fog. But even in that heaviness, he is there, closer than breath, holding your name in his hands like something precious, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to him. You are not a mistake. You are not too much, or not enough. You are known, completely, and still loved without measure. When Jesus speaks your name, it is not just a sound, it's a healing. It's a balm to the wounds the world has left. It's a shelter for the parts of your heart that never felt safe. It's a quiet reassurance that there is still beauty in you, even when all you've seen lately is the broken. He sees it, he always has. And he is not asking you to fix yourself before coming close. He is asking you to simply come, as you are, tired or trembling, doubting or weary, joyful or grieving. His presence does not demand perfection. It welcomes vulnerability. It meets you where you are, not where you pretend to be. He carries no clipboard of your failures, no tally of your mistakes. Instead, he carries scars in his hands, proof of the price he paid not out of obligation, but out of love that would never walk away. That love still stands at the door of your heart, waiting not to be feared, but to be welcomed. You might have heard that you need to be stronger, better, holier before you belong to him. But the truth is simpler, softer, and more beautiful. You already belong. The love of Jesus doesn't wait for your life to look tidy. It steps into your mess, into your pain, and it stays. It does not flinch from your worst days or retreat from your hardest questions. It draws nearer still, with eyes full of compassion and arms that never grow tired of holding you. In the quiet of your thoughts, when everything feels too loud, remember this: he spoke your name in heaven not as a command, but as a comfort. He wasn't calling you out. He was calling you home. To peace that doesn't leave you in the night. To grace that doesn't run out. To rest that doesn't require you to earn it. Your name on his lips is the start of something new. A fresh breath of purpose. A gentle opening in the sky over your life. An unseen thread of hope weaving itself into your tomorrow, reminding you that your story isn't over, and the best chapters are still to come, not because of your strength, but because of his love. Type 1010 to affirm that God's timing is perfect. There is something sacred happening, even if you can't feel it yet. Something holy being written into your life that no failure can erase and no fear can undo. Because the one who speaks your name also holds your future, and he has never failed to finish what he starts. Let your heart rest in this: you are being seen, you are being called, and you are being loved in ways you can't fully imagine yet. And if you let him, Jesus will carry you through the places that feel too heavy, into the light where everything begins again. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, it was not rushed, not spoken like a list or an obligation, but lifted like a prayer, held in reverence, and carried with a love that has never once faded or wavered, even in the moments when your faith did. His voice, steady and full of grace, spoke your name as one who has always known you, not for who the world tried to define you as, but for who you were always meant to be. In that moment, something eternal touched your life again. You may not have felt the shift in your body, but your soul heard it, the subtle stirring of something true, something sacred breaking through the weight of the day, the regrets of yesterday, and the fear of tomorrow. That voice, tender and sure, cuts through the noise that has crowded your heart and gently reminds you that you have never been forgotten. You are not just another soul in the crowd to him. You are the one he left heaven for, the one he carried the cross for, the one he watches over even when you are unaware. His love doesn't depend on your awareness of it. It doesn't grow stronger when you get it right or grow cold when you fall. It is constant, like the sun that still rises whether or not you lift the curtains. Your name is written in His love, not in ink that fades, but in a truth that remains unshaken by time or failure. And when He speaks your name, all the lies you've been told begin to fall away. Lies that said you weren't worthy. Lies that said you've messed up too many times. Lies that said you're too far gone or too broken to ever find your way back. His voice cuts through them like light through darkness, soft but strong, and reminds you that you are still His. What if I told you financial freedom is not about working harder, but activating a dormant brain signal designed to draw abundance directly to you? Neuroscience proves this sound wave unlocks prosperity faster than any method known before. From unexpected cash to life-changing success, it's already helping thousands. Imagine looking back tomorrow wishing you had acted today. Do not let regret replace the miracle that is calling you right now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on the ancient money wave and create the life you've always dreamed of today. Sometimes we carry years of shame we were never meant to bear. We carry burdens that were never ours to hold, wounds that never had the space to heal. But when Jesus calls you by name, He's not calling out your shame, He's calling you out of it. He's calling you into something deeper, into the safety of His presence, the shelter of His arms, the warmth of a love that will never let you go. He's not asking you to prove anything. He's not waiting for you to become someone else. He's asking you to let Him walk with you, as you are, in this moment. If all you have is a sigh, He will take it. If all you have is silence, He will sit in it with you. If all you can offer is a heart that is tired of trying, He will hold it gently and never let it go. He does not rush your healing. He does not demand your perfection. He simply wants to be near you. The love of Jesus is not like the love of this world. It does not run when things get hard. It does not leave when you fail. It does not get tired of you. His love stays. It stays in the waiting. It stays in the wandering. It stays in the doubting and in the returning. Type 1111 if you believe heaven is listening. He sees your fear, your confusion, your questions. And still, He speaks your name, not once, but again and again, until the noise begins to quiet, and your heart begins to understand that this love is real. Not just for everyone else, but for you. Especially for you. Every time you felt alone, He was there. Every moment you thought no one noticed, He noticed. Every time you thought your story was too messy, He already knew, and He loved you anyway. Not in spite of your story, but through it. Through every chapter, He has been there, patiently waiting for you to hear what has always been true, that you matter, that you are loved, and that your life is still part of something holy. You don't have to carry the weight of the world anymore. You don't have to pretend to be okay. You don't have to figure everything out. You just need to know this: Jesus spoke your name in heaven, and when He did, it was with joy, not judgment. With love, not disappointment. With hope, not despair. Your name is safe with Him. Your heart is safe with Him. Your story, even the parts you hide, is safe with Him. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, it wasn't because you cried out the loudest or got everything right. It wasn't because you earned your way into his attention. It was because he has always loved you, not the version of you that tries to hold everything together, but the real you, the quiet, weary, beautiful soul that has been searching for peace in a world that rarely gives it. The moment he spoke your name, heaven responded, not with thunder, but with a hush, as if the angels themselves knew the weight of what it meant. It meant that once again, love had reached for one of its own. It meant that, in the grandness of eternity, your life still matters deeply, personally, and without limit. No one else may understand your journey, but Jesus does, and when he said your name, he said it as someone who has walked with you every step, even when you didn't know he was there. He has seen the tears you held back so others wouldn't worry. He has heard the prayers you couldn't form into words. He has stood beside you in the long nights and the uncertain mornings, never leaving, never judging, only waiting with patience and kindness, because that is what his love looks like. It waits, it hopes, it holds on. You are not alone in the way you think you are. You are not as lost as you sometimes feel. There is a path beneath your feet, even when all you see are questions. There is grace written into every detour, mercy flowing through every delay. When Jesus spoke your name, he wasn't reminding himself who you are, he was reminding all of heaven who he made you to be. Not the broken pieces. Not the failures. Not the parts you try to hide. But the heart he formed with his own hands, full of potential, full of light, full of promise. Type Amen if you trust in God, and share this heart-touching video with 5 loved ones to open the doors of blessings and miracles. That promise has not faded. It has not expired. It has not been disqualified by your mistakes. If anything, his love draws even nearer in your weakness, not to scold, but to carry. He knows the weight you've tried to hold, the memories you try to forget, the voices that tell you that you'll never be enough. And still, he says your name with gentleness, inviting you back into the truth that you are already enough, not because of what you do, but because of what he did. You don't have to strive for his love. You don't have to earn his favor. You don't have to prove your worth. You are loved now, in this exact moment, with nothing added and nothing removed. Jesus looks at you and sees a soul worth dying for, worth living for, worth waiting for. He is not disappointed in you. He is not surprised by your struggle. He is not distant because of your doubts. He comes close, closer than breath, and says your name again, gently, patiently, full of hope. Type 1212 if you know God is guiding your steps. There is power in being known this deeply. There is healing in being loved without conditions. When the world tells you to toughen up and move on, he says it's okay to be soft, to feel, to cry, to lean into his arms when you have nothing left. He does not ask you to be strong enough. He only asks that you don't close your heart to him. He will walk with you as long as it takes. He will sit beside you in silence if that's what you need. He will carry you when you've run out of strength, and he will speak your name again and again, until your heart begins to believe what he has known all along, that you are beloved, you are worth the wait, and you are never, ever alone. The road may feel long, but he is with you on every step of it. The days may be heavy, but he shares the weight. And the future, no matter how uncertain it looks right now, is already held in his hands. Let his voice be louder than the noise. Let his love be stronger than the fear. Let his whisper be the one that leads you forward, gently, lovingly, one step at a time. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, it wasn't out of obligation, and it wasn't a distant gesture. It was personal, filled with warmth, intention, and a love deeper than anything this world could ever offer. In that moment, your name was held with such care that even the stars seemed to still their light, as if heaven itself was listening to the love behind every syllable he whispered. Your name, spoken by the Savior, carries no shame. It carries no weight of judgment. Instead, it carries the gentleness of a shepherd calling his sheep home, the strength of a protector standing in the gap, and the tenderness of a friend who has never once left your side, even when your path wandered through the darkest valleys. What if everything you've been chasing, wealth, freedom, success, could be drawn to you automatically, simply by unlocking a secret brain wave hidden inside you? Once classified by intelligence agencies, this discovery is now available to the public, and it's changing lives instantly. Picture yourself debt-free, stress-free, and thriving. The window is open, but not forever, and every second you wait is wealth slipping from your hands, so grasp it now. Click the link in video description and comments below to awaken this money magnet frequency and watch abundance flow into your life today. Sometimes, it feels like the world forgets how fragile we are, how easily we break beneath expectations and unspoken wounds. But Jesus never forgets. He doesn't overlook your weariness or rush you through your healing. He sees the way you press on even when you're unsure, and he honors that quiet courage with a love that doesn't demand more, but simply offers to walk with you, step by step, through the ache and into the light. He sees the nights when you lie awake, wondering if your prayers even reached heaven. He knows the moments when you smile in front of others but feel empty inside. And still, he speaks your name, not to remind you of your pain, but to remind you of his promise. The promise that you are not alone. The promise that you are never too far gone. The promise that he is here, not watching from a distance, but right beside you, closer than your next breath. Type 1313 to affirm strength through the Lord. When your strength feels small and your faith feels faint, his voice remains steady. And when he speaks your name, it becomes a turning point, a moment where heaven leans in, where the grace you didn't know you needed begins to pour over every dry and tired place in your heart. He speaks with authority, but never with harshness. His voice is strong, but never sharp. It is soft enough to soothe a broken spirit, yet powerful enough to lift a soul out of despair. You may not have seen the answers you've prayed for yet. You may still feel surrounded by questions, loss, or waiting. But even there, he is near. Even there, he is calling your name, not to pull you out of reality, but to remind you that this isn't the end of your story. There is still more ahead, more healing, more peace, more grace, more beauty. And none of it is out of reach. His love is not limited by what you've done or where you've been. It is not earned through achievement or performance. It is simply given, freely and fully, because that is who he is. And when Jesus gives his love, he holds nothing back. He offers all of himself, and he asks only that you receive it with open hands, even if those hands are trembling. So much of life teaches us to guard ourselves, to toughen up, to expect less so we won't be disappointed. But Jesus invites you to soften, to lean in, to believe again. Not because everything makes sense, but because He is trustworthy, even when nothing else feels certain. He is the steady place in the storm. He is the gentle hand in the chaos. And His love will never run out on you. If your heart feels tired of holding on, let Him hold you instead. If your soul feels bruised by the world, let Him be your healing. If your mind is full of questions, let Him be your peace. You don't need to have the right words. You don't need to pretend to be strong. You just need to be willing to open the door, even a little, and let His voice reach the part of you that still hopes for more. He is not angry with you. He is not waiting for you to fix yourself. He is already here, calling you by name with a love that doesn't grow tired, a love that never gives up, a love that will follow you into every shadow just to remind you that you are not forgotten. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, He didn't speak it as a passing thought or in a moment of distraction. He spoke it with the full weight of His heart behind it, with the same heart that broke for you, bled for you, and rose again so that nothing, not even death, could ever separate you from His love. He spoke it because you matter more to Him than you may ever understand on this side of eternity. Every detail of your life, every memory that lingers in silence, every scar that still aches, is known to Him, and still, He speaks your name with joy, with pride, and with a tenderness that wraps around the places you've kept hidden from everyone else. You were never just one among many to Him. You were never invisible. From the very beginning, before the noise of this world tried to shape your worth, He already called you precious. The sound of your name in His mouth carries the love of a Father who has never stopped watching over you, who has never turned His face away, not even once, not even when you were certain you'd gone too far to return. Type 1414 if you believe in divine protection. Sometimes we walk through seasons where everything feels distant. The prayers feel unanswered. The light feels dim. We convince ourselves that maybe we're too broken, too tired, or too late. But Jesus doesn't measure your value by how strong you appear. He sees you in the in-between moments, the quiet ones where you're just trying to keep going, and He meets you there, gently calling you back into love, back into truth, back into His arms. His love doesn't change with your circumstances. It doesn't come and go depending on your mood or your doubts. His love is fixed, unshakable, rooted in something so eternal that no amount of pain or wandering can loosen its hold. He calls you by name not to remind you of your failures, but to remind you of your belonging. You are His, still and always, no matter what the world or your past might try to tell you. There's something sacred in realizing that you don't have to chase His attention. You don't have to earn His favor. He already sees you. He already wants you. Not when you become someone better, but right here, exactly as you are. The love He offers is not a reward, it is a gift, and it is yours to receive. Maybe the road behind you has been long. Maybe it's been full of mistakes, silence, and moments you wish you could erase. But Jesus isn't standing at the end of that road with disappointment in His eyes. He's been walking beside you the whole way, waiting for the moment when your heart might turn toward Him, even slightly, just enough for His love to rush in and do what it was always meant to do, heal you, hold you, and never let go. When he speaks your name, he's not just reminding heaven that you exist. He's reminding you that you are still a part of something beautiful. That your life, no matter how messy it feels, still has meaning, still has purpose, still carries the light of the one who created you. There's more ahead, more joy, more peace, more moments of quiet assurance where you realize you're not walking alone. You are not being asked to carry everything by yourself. You are not being asked to pretend or to perform. You are simply being invited to rest, to trust, and to believe that the love that called your name will never abandon you, not now, not ever. Let the sound of your name and his voice quiet the fears that have tried to take root. Let it soften the hard places in your heart. Let it remind you that you are deeply known and fiercely loved. There is no one like you, and there never will be, and that truth was etched into eternity the moment Jesus said your name. What if the fastest path to wealth was already inside your mind, waiting to be activated by a powerful sound wave? Scientists call it the money-attracting frequency, and once awakened, it begins drawing opportunities, success, and financial freedom like never before. Imagine the relief of no more bills and the joy of living your dreams. This is more than an offer, it is a divine turning point. Your destiny is waiting, but only if you choose to move now. Click the link in the video description and comments below to turn on this ancient brain wave today. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, it wasn't because he had to. It was because he wanted to. Out of all the voices, all the names, all the hearts in this world, he chose to speak yours, with love that never hurries and never hesitates, only flows, constant, deep, and full of grace. He didn't speak your name to remind the heavens of your failures. He spoke it to remind all creation that you still belong, that your soul is still worth the fight, and that even in the quiet, even in the struggle, your life carries a beauty that has never been diminished. Every part of you, your laughter, your sorrow, your questions, your silence, matters to him, and when he said your name, he did so with a fullness of affection that can never be explained, only felt. Type 1515 to receive peace in your soul today. Sometimes, you carry things you don't even realize, wounds left unspoken, dreams pushed aside, fears buried deep just to make it through another day. But he sees it all. He knows how hard it's been to hold on. He knows how heavy it feels when the answers don't come. And still, he calls your name, not to place pressure on you, but to pull you back into a place of comfort, a place where you can finally stop pretending to be okay when you're not. You don't have to keep carrying the weight alone. You don't have to keep putting yourself back together for everyone else. He's not waiting for you to be fixed. He's waiting for you to be honest. Honest about your pain, your doubts, your exhaustion. Because it's in that honesty that he draws even closer, not with judgment, but with peace that settles over you like quiet rain on dry ground. His voice doesn't demand that you perform. It simply invites you to rest. Rest in knowing that you are enough. Rest in knowing that your presence matters more than your performance. Rest in knowing that when he spoke your name, he was speaking hope into every place that's been broken, calling light into the corners that haven't felt safe in a long time. He has always known you. Long before the world tried to shape you. Long before anyone made you feel like you had to earn love or compete for worth. His love isn't like theirs. It's not conditional. It doesn't shift with your moods or your mistakes. It doesn't wear thin when you stumble or disappear when you feel too far gone. His love stays. It endures. It rebuilds what you thought was too far gone. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too much. And you are not too late. His timing is never rushed, and His plans for you have not been erased by the detours you've taken. In fact, those detours are the very places where His mercy meets you most tenderly, where His compassion becomes more than words, where it becomes real. When Jesus speaks your name, He is not reminding you of what you've lost. He is calling out what has always been within you, the capacity to heal, to hope, to believe again. There is no shame in feeling weary. There is no failure in needing help. He delights in walking beside you, not just when you're strong, but especially when you feel like you've run out of strength. You are not a burden. You are not a project. You are His beloved, and He is patient with your journey. He is not shocked by your past or intimidated by your pain. There is nothing in your life too dark for His light, nothing too messy for His grace, and nothing too distant for His love to reach. Even now, He is speaking your name again, gently, faithfully, lovingly, inviting you to trust that you are seen, heard, and held by a love that does not leave. You may feel like you've wandered too far, but His arms have never stopped being open. You may feel like your heart is too heavy, but He has already taken that weight upon Himself. Let His voice quiet the noise. Let His love soften the hard places. Let His presence be the home you return to when the world feels cold. Because in the end, when all is stripped away, it will be His voice, full of mercy, full of kindness, that calls your name, and welcomes you into a love that will never fade. Type Amen if you surrender fully to God's will. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, He did it knowing everything about you, every chapter, every wound, every quiet moment when you felt forgotten. And still, He said your name as if it were the most beautiful word ever spoken, as if all of heaven should pause and listen, because someone precious to His heart was being remembered in love. He didn't speak it to point out your flaws or remind you of the places where you fell short. He spoke it to remind you of how deeply you are loved, how closely He's been walking beside you, even when it felt like no one else was. There is something sacred about the way He sees you, something healing about being known this completely and still held with tenderness and without hesitation. You may not feel worthy of that kind of love. You may have been told you had to change to be accepted, that you had to prove yourself before you could belong. But Jesus never asked you to be perfect. He never asked you to pretend. He just asked you to let Him in, to the mess, to the silence, to the places you've kept hidden from everyone else. There is no shame in being tired. There is no weakness in feeling lost. What matters is that your name is still on His lips, still resting in His heart, still wrapped in a love that sees beyond every mistake and still chooses you. And when He speaks your name, something happens in the unseen. The heaviness you carry begins to loosen. The fear that gripped your heart starts to quiet. The belief that maybe, just maybe, you're not alone begins to take root again. Because you aren't. You never were. Not for a single breath, not for a single heartbeat. He has been holding you through every dark night, every unanswered prayer, every moment you thought you had to survive on your own. He has never looked away. Even when you turned from him, he stayed, gently whispering your name, waiting for you to hear the love in his voice and remember that you are his. You don't have to fight for his attention. You already have it. You don't have to beg for his love. It's already yours. And you don't have to carry this alone anymore. He is here. He has always been here. The sound of your name in his mouth is the sound of rescue, of rest, of coming home. It's the sound of chains breaking, of fear losing its grip, of grace rushing in like a river over every place that once felt dry and empty. He is not calling you to perform. He is calling you to receive. To breathe. To believe, even just a little, that love this good could be real for you, too. He's not in a hurry with your healing. He doesn't lose patience with your questions. He will sit with you as long as it takes. He will walk as slowly as you need. His love does not demand that you rise quickly. It simply promises that you will never rise alone. You are still part of his story. You are still held in his arms. No matter what has happened, no matter what you've believed about yourself, his voice has not changed. It's still full of kindness. Still full of truth. Still full of mercy. Your name, spoken by Jesus, is not just a reminder to heaven. It is a promise to you, that you are chosen, you are seen, and you are safe in him. Let that be enough for today. Let it carry you through the moments that feel heavy. Let it remind you that even in your silence, you are being spoken of with love that never ends. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, he did not speak it lightly or as part of a list. He spoke it with the fullness of his heart, with the weight of every moment he walked this earth for you, with the memory of every step he took carrying the cross, and with the joy of knowing you were the reason he never gave up. Your name, gently rising from his lips, carried the sound of eternity wrapped in mercy. Type 1717 to affirm your life is in God's hands. He knew where you would be right now, what you'd be thinking, how your heart might feel weary, how the quiet might sometimes feel too loud with the questions that haven't yet been answered. Still, he spoke your name, not to remind you of your confusion, but to remind you of your place in his story, a place that can never be erased, no matter how long you've wandered or how tired you feel. You don't have to find the right words to come back to him. You don't need to figure everything out before you let him in. He already knows. He sees every tear you've held back, every moment you pushed through pain, every time you chose to love even when your own heart was breaking. And he honors all of it. He honors you. The sound of your name in his voice isn't just a call, it's a comfort. A promise that he's still holding on, even if you felt like letting go. A promise that his love has not changed. Not in the waiting. Not in the silence. Not in the seasons that stretched longer than you hoped. That voice is steady, and it still speaks peace into every storm you're facing. His love isn't far off or locked away in some distant place. It's near. It meets you right where you are, in the middle of the mess, in the middle of the questions, in the middle of the ache you haven't had words for. And that love isn't waiting for you to be ready, it's already reaching, already wrapping itself around your heart with a gentleness the world doesn't often show. There's a quiet strength in being seen like this. In knowing that even when you feel forgotten, He remembers you. In knowing that your name, spoken by the Savior, is spoken not with disappointment, but with delight. You may not see what He sees yet, but He's calling it out of you. Calling out the courage, the beauty, the light, the hope. It's still there. It's always been there. The world may have told you to harden your heart, to be strong in ways that left you feeling numb. But Jesus offers another way. A softer way. A healing way. He invites you to bring every part of yourself into the light, your grief, your fear, your doubt, your longing, and to let Him hold it all without rushing you, without asking you to pretend, without expecting you to be anything other than who you are in this moment. He's not disappointed in your struggle. He's not tired of your pain. He's not overwhelmed by your emotions. He's here, steady and quiet, speaking your name again and again, until the fear fades, until the lies fall away, until the truth is all that remains. You are loved, you are chosen, and you are never alone. Let His voice be the one you listen for when everything else grows loud. Let His presence be your home when the world feels cold. Let the sound of your name and His voice be the reminder you hold on to when your hope feels small, because His love is never small. His love is more than enough. And as He continues to speak your name, heaven still listens. The angels still pause. And your heart, if it leans in gently, will begin to remember what it's always known but maybe forgotten for a while, that Jesus has never stopped loving you, never stopped waiting for you, and never stopped calling you closer. When Jesus spoke your name in heaven, He did it with the kind of love that never fades, even when the seasons change, even when your soul feels weary from trying to hold on. He spoke it not as someone remembering you from a distance, but as someone who has walked every step beside you, holding your pain, your joy, and your quiet hopes like sacred treasures in His hands. What if 7 minutes could rewrite your financial future forever? This hidden frequency, backed by neuroscience, flips the brain's natural wealth switch, unleashing unstoppable prosperity. People are calling it the money magnet sound, and it's already transforming lives. But hesitation means missing out while others move ahead. This is your moment to act. Click the link in the video description and comments below to awaken the wealth inside you today before the chance slips away. Type 1818 to claim miracles and breakthroughs. There was no hesitation in His voice, no uncertainty in His tone, only warmth, only assurance, only the fullness of love poured out with every syllable. Your name, in His mouth, was not a reminder of what you lack, but a celebration of who you are, who you've always been to Him, and who you are still becoming by grace. It can be hard to understand a love like this in a world that often gives up too easily, that measures worth by success and strength and appearance. But Jesus does not love the way this world loves. He does not need you to shine for Him to see you. He does not require your perfection for Him to speak your name with tenderness and pride. He simply loves, fully, faithfully, forever. Even in the places you've tried to hide. Even in the parts of your heart you haven't known how to open. Even in the ache that doesn't have a name, and the stories you've never told. He sees it all. And still, He stays. Still, He calls you. Still, He speaks your name as if it were the most beautiful thing he's ever heard. Amen. Archangel Michael says, "My dear child, the last 1 minute and 20 seconds of this video could be the turning point that brings new light and hope into your life. Watch until the end to receive the beautiful blessings that are already on their way to you. Your red alert has arrived, and your angel is not allowing you to skip this message at any cost, for this is not just a message, but a whisper of God's voice wrapped in love, reaching you in a moment you may not have realized how deeply you needed it. The day you were born, heaven celebrated not just a life beginning on earth, but a soul created with purpose, tenderly shaped by the hands of the Almighty. From the very first beat of your heart, God has walked beside you, watching every step you've taken with immeasurable love, even when you could not feel it. And now, in this very moment, something within your spirit stirs, something holy, something awakening, because heaven has chosen this time to reach you once again. Type 2222 to open the door to new blessings.